G'day, gang. I wanted to talk today about remakes and remasters. It's a really big topic, this one, because I think there is such a spectrum of really, really well done examples and just obvious cash grabs that really insult the original material. Um, I'm looking at you, Lion King. Where was Scar's song? One of the best villain songs in almost any movie. I think it was a really, really good villain song, and it's just completely absent. Strange choice. But how do you all feel about remakes and remasters in general? Is this like a topic that if you hear those words you audibly sigh? Or do you have no opinion until you see the actual product? For me, I'm kind of in the middle, for sure. I don't think there's really many people. I don't think there's like a category of people who get excited when they hear the word remake or remaster. Like, oh, another live action movie. Oh boy. I don't really think that's a that's a thing, but if you are, please tell me I'm wrong. I'd love to hear it. I haven't. It's usually a groan in my experience, but yeah, maybe maybe I have the group of friends who just really don't like remakes and remasters. There have been some really good examples as of late, particularly the Oblivion. Oblivion was really good. I had a really great time playing that. It felt like a new game, even though I knew all the quests and uh, I knew most of the characters. Well, at least remembered most of the characters, and yeah, there was a lot of enjoyment from that one. But yeah, I think that there are some really, really good examples of things just done well, where it's suddenly taken something from your past and put it into your present in a really, really good way, and it does feel like a gift. Use of the word present. Sorry. Anyway, um, how do you all feel about them? Do you have a particular remake or remaster that you're like, yeah, this is it right here, this is the one, or do you just absolutely hate them? I personally, every time I hear live action version of, I get very sad inside. But just because of the sweeping changes that they seem to have consistently keep making, I'm not understanding why they're making those changes or who that's for. Like, there are a lot of changes we recently endured. Lilo and Stitch, um, the live action version. Like, that's a great classic movie with like just fantastic elements, great characters, awesome music, and just like quirky little moments that just are really wonderful. And it's so weird in live action. It's very uncomfortable in a lot of the parts, especially given that the broad changes that they made. It's very uncomfortable. And I think that we are all particularly familiar with, well, a lot of us are very familiar with Disney movies because, things that you grow up watching, you watch repetitively. Same with Aladdin. That was the movie that I watched as a child over and over and over again. So I kind of knew a lot of the songs line for line, and I knew a lot of the words. I was one of those kids that just, please put on the same movie for me. um, but yeah, when it came to watching the live action version, I was like, why did they do that? Same with Lilo and Stitch. I'm not really understanding why they made so many changes. Very weird stuff. Um, but yeah, how do you all feel like about the topic in general? Are there really cool options that you genuinely have, like me with Oblivion? Yeah, really, really. I didn't expect to enjoy that so much. I've been watching the Sky Oblivion for a long time, waiting for an effective remaster to come out of the modding community for this remake to just remaster just blow up out of nowhere. Just, it was a big surprise. I heard about it last minute, and then when it dropped, it was quite a surprise when it dropped because I thought, okay, we're going to get that in a couple of years, and then it just showed up, and it was made by a different studio, but it was really, really good. It's one of the only examples that I can have, that I can sort of think about of genuine enjoyed content, because there's a lot of games that re-release and I honestly couldn't tell you the difference between them. Like all of the Skyrim remakes, a lot of the time I'm like, I don't remember enough about these like details to work out what the differences are between them. And I know in that case there was a lot of creator content that got released with one of the editions, but it's such a classic example of being released, re-released, 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 and re-released without, for my taste, not doing enough to make the game seem like it's actually made changes. But maybe I'm in this smaller group and people are like, bro, love my Skyrim remakes. Okay, leave me alone. So tell me if I'm wrong about that one. Um, but yeah, for me, I just I definitely cringe when I hear those phrases, especially I think given how so many games are just um, thrown back at us with the expectation that we will pay more money for for a very similar product or a product that is um, differently priced but with the same content. Like recently I was seeing that kind of on a, I don't know if it would be considered the same for some people, but there's a game called Surviving Mars. Pretty cool game. They released like um, a redone version. I don't remember the specific terminologies that they used, but it was the same game with bug fixes and all the DLC included. And for people who have previously bought the game, it was just it felt, um, yeah, it felt a bit cheap, and it just felt a bit exploitative. And I'm sure that there are changes that I didn't see that can potentially justify the cost. I'm sure that's the potential for that, but for me as a consumer, I didn't see the cost given that I'd already had the game. And there's a lot of examples of um, companies doing that, but yeah, there are definitely people that will enjoy that and say, well, it feels like I'm playing a new game, even though they're not. And I kind of get that with the next topic that I wanted to go into with early access, which is very polarizing topic, I've realized. Completely understandable why, given how many games get abandoned. But yeah, really wanted to talk about that one next. But yeah, how do you all feel about um, new content added to old games as well? Because there are a lot of games that do, like I hear a lot of people talking about classic WoW. I'm not a WoW player. um, I'm very anti-subscription because I change games too frequently. So it's just never going to be my game. But how do you all feel about the changes that they added to a game in which that they said was going to be faithful to the original, and then they've implemented changes? Because that's another topic that people have opinions about on both sides of saying it's good in certain instances. And it's tricky, right, for developers to work out what quality of life changes they want to add while still maintaining the core and the essence of the game. I think one of the games that made me sad is one of my favorite franchises. Is they were talking about changing the way The Witcher 1 was going to be remastered, with removing my favorite part of the game, which is the collecting of like those really like sexy cards when you get like specific encounters, risque encounters. They were talking about removing that, and I feel like that was a huge percentage of why I played that game. I didn't I wasn't in it for the gratification. I just thought it was cool. I am very much straight, tragically, but I think I think that was just a really fun and cool like way to go about it, and I thought that those cards were really unique and interesting way to kind of have just a different interaction with that. I don't think I think there's a lot of people that would in this era that would see those sorts of things as tokenism and objectism, but I do not agree. I strongly disagree with that. The same as how I know that another WoW example, because it made me laugh, how there's a lot of women who were turned into fruit. But this is another topic that I want to talk about that I'm going into. Oh my gosh, Why do I get jump scared by that I'm gonna change the setting. I'm gonna change the setting because it's so stupid. But, oh my god. Professional. But no, I think I lost my train of thought. I think yeah, desexualizing women is weird. It's weird. Turning women into fruit is the meme right now because Blizzard decided that certain risque pictures deserve to be fruit bowls instead of women. Can we just keep the women at least, please? Can we still be in the video game? Thanks, that'd be great. But yeah, very interested in everyone's opinion on this particular topic. I realized I went on many tangents. I tried very hard not to go on tangents, but I'm really good at tangents. But yeah, how do y'all feel about that? And how do y'all feel about like just revisiting old work? There's definitely, I want to remaster my first series because it's bad. But yeah, I'd keep it free. I like my first series being free because it is a less quality, but I think that's somewhat of its charm. And then if you lose the old version, it's completely different. So, complicated topic, I think. Very interested in other people's opinions on this topic in general. How they enjoy the remakes and remasters, if you have any favorites, or if you just hear this and just categorically no, hate remakes and remasters, or if you're somewhere in between. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks again for listening to me, and for probably laughing at me when I get jump scared by my stupid monitor turning off. Thanks all. Bye.